The agricultural sector recorded decelerated growth in 2014, and in particular, maize production decreased by 4.2% during the same period. Now, this has concerned key stakeholders in this particular sector, considering maize is a staple food in the country. Joining Bonney Tunya to discuss more about this is Geoffrey Muturi, the chairman of the National Cereals and Produce Board in the country.
Let's start with where we are now, and we've been having conversations about food security. Are we food secure? What is the state of the nation in regards to food security currently?
At the moment, in the short term, we have about 1.7 million metric tons of food in the market. That's translates to about 22 million bags. Our consumption is about 3.8 million bags per month. That means that we have about 5 months maize in the market.
What happens after 5 months?
What happens after 5 months is in 4 months we're going to have the harvests for the short train is coming in July and August. So there will be another research, and that's what goes on. And beside that, there is also there's a lot of cross-border trade, and this really helps to stabilize our food situation in the country.
As it is now, our farming or agriculture is rain-fed, and we are basically left to rely on the erratic weather patterns that we may have. What measures can be put by either state or non-state actors to ensure that we have our farmers are cushioned and our production is more reliable?
Let me step back a little bit to say that it is a fact that our production per acre has gone down. And has been going down. And unfortunately, this has driven the demand for a better price. The whole issue is that we produce more, but we still earn the same levels of earnings that we're earning with better production. The decline in production has been associated by many to the acidification of the soils due to overuse of the same type of fertilizers. Now let me come back to what the mitigation steps are being taken. Number one, you know about the subsidy program for the fertilizers. Our consumption of fertilizer has risen from 300,000 metric tons to about 600,000 metric tons. But this country, the levels, compared to international levels, the levels that we should be using fertilizer should be about 1.2 million metric tons per year. So we are way off the mark.
Geoffrey, I'm curious about the role of the strategic grain reserve and what more can be done in this space, because yes, we've been talking about deficits. In the medium to long term, what are the measures that, say, NCPB or the government is saying we can put in place A, B, C to ensure that first we plug this deficit and then we'll think about commercializing?
Strategic grain reserve has played a central role over time in the pricing of maize in this country. And this is why you find a lot of talk and a lot of complaint, because as soon as SGR price is announced, it kind of sets a mark.
For the market?
For the market. Which is unfortunate, because if you are only buying a tenth of the maize, then it should be that we are setting up the price. A better way of setting the price is to intervene in the market to make sure the availability is there and the market forces can now settle on a price that
How
is
do you intervene?
driven.
What are these interventions?
Well, one of the things that you can intervene, which we just did last week, is to make grain available. If you remember, there was a talk about the price of unga going up. And in order to mitigate that, what we did is we opened our stores. We said we have 4.5 million bags available at the current market prices, which was about 2,800, average 2,800 per bag. And suddenly, because it was known there's 4.5 million bags of maize available to the market, the prices of unga stopped. Well, they haven't gone down, but that kind of stabilized. They've stabilized. Right. And the other thing we've seen is maize are serviced in the market. Actually, I haven't sold much. I've almost sold nothing out of what we are offering. I've not sold much. Right. Maize service from elsewhere, cheaper maize than my maize. So that's an intervention that is very easy to do. And if we lower our prices, then we know that the prices will continue rolling. But we'd rather have the market decide a stability level.